Good evening. If you live in Hounslow, you'd be forgiven for feeling a bit confused this evening. After a rise in cases of the Indian variant there, 4 days ago, the government advised there should be a local lockdown. But that was news to Hounslow Council leaders. They only heard about it by chance this morning. By this afternoon came the government's U-turn. They've now withdrawn the advice on travel in and out of the borough. Well, our political correspondent Simon Harris is in Hounslow for us. This isn't exactly straightforward, is it, Simon?
Charlene, it's a question of when is a lockdown not a lockdown, which is what many people in Hounslow have been wondering today after they were suddenly told that they should not travel in and out of the borough. To say it caused chaos and confusion is to put it mildly. And tonight, it seems, the advice has been reversed. Hounslow found itself in its own COVID bubble today, a London borough with a unique set of guidelines. The fresh advice for people living and working here popped up unannounced on a government website, and for some it came as a surprise. What do you know about the new advice?
Only what I heard on the news this morning, nothing else.
Did you know there was new advice in the last few days for people in Hounslow?
Not really.
You hadn't heard?
No, not at all, sorry.
There is a high rate of COVID right now in Hounslow, and there was advice to make sure no one is leaving the Hounslow.
So you know the new advice?
Yes, I do.
The advice on the government's website appeared on Friday, stating people should meet outside rather than inside where possible. Stay 2 metres apart from people you don't live with, including friends and family. And avoid travelling in or out of Hounslow unless essential, like going to work. Confusingly, the advice contradicted the government's own roadmap, which allows non-essential travel and mixing indoors. The leader of Hounslow Council said the new measures amounted to a local lockdown in all but name. The travel ban seemed especially hard to comprehend. A quick glance at destinations served by Hounslow Bus Garage reveals life here is interconnected with neighbouring boroughs. The Piccadilly line runs through Hounslow, and on its doorstep is Heathrow Airport. Council leader Steve Curran couldn't hide his fury.
We can't have this disruption like this. It's appalling.
How angry are you?
I'm very angry. We've had 14 months of this, and our residents and businesses have really come up to the plate. It's brought our community together, and now it's all up in the air again because the guidance is shambolic.
I don't know why the local authorities don't feel that they've been informed along the way, because we have been hand in glove about raising the awareness about the issues, about the risks of being cautious and how we transmit this particular variant of the virus. And I'm sure they'll be backing the approach of making sure people are very careful about the interactions that they have and where they're really necessary.
In a beauty salon on Hounslow High Street, the effect of the new advice was already being felt.
It does affect a lot of a business because of the people can come inside and people have to book appointment, they have to wait outside, and our business completely quiet.
Last week, ministers ordered a surge vaccination programme in Hounslow to try to halt the spread of the Indian variant. Tonight, Hounslow's Director of Public Health, Kelly O'Neill, said government officials had confirmed there were no restrictions on travel in and out of the borough.
Sadiq Khan faced all 25 Assembly members in the City Hall chamber this morning. It was his first Mayor's questions since he was re-elected. It certainly looked a little different with everyone wearing face masks, and the Mayor sounded a little different too, striking a conciliatory tone with the government and staying tight-lipped on talks over TfL's financial bailout. Our political correspondent Simon Harris was watching.
City Hall has never looked like this. For the first Mayor's question time since the election, everyone was told to wear a mask unless they were speaking. And all 25 London Assembly members were in the chamber. That hasn't happened since the start of the pandemic. But something else has changed too.
We can make a bigger difference by working together. I've stressed my commitment to building bridges with government, and I look forward to working with every one of you.
This was Sadiq Khan adopting a more conciliatory tone. The Labour Mayor is keen to reset his relationship with the Conservative government.
We are reaching out to government, and I think the government is hopefully more receptive now there's no elections forthcoming, and we can sort of park party politics and work together.
At one point, there was an outbreak of mutual admiration started by the Green Party's mayoral candidate.
And first of all, congratulations on being re-elected. I voted for you, second preference.
Apologies to the other two parties, but I also gave my second preference to you, Sean.
It all made for a very different question time. The familiar and sometimes bad-tempered sparring which has characterised these meetings for the last 5 years was nowhere to be seen today. The Mayor even congratulated some of his political opponents on getting elected. The transformation was obvious to one seasoned City Hall watcher.
It was a very different version of the Mayor to the often sparky and rather scratchy relationship that he sometimes had with members of the Assembly up to the election. So whether this is the beginning of a trend, it's hard to tell, but I think it looks as if he is trying to change his approach to politics.
The Mayor is currently involved in crucial negotiations with the government over the future of Transport for London after it almost collapsed during the pandemic. Rocking the boat is probably in the interest of neither side, but City Hall Conservatives don't expect the ceasefire to be permanent.
It won't last. Sometimes you go into the chamber and he's in a good mood and sometimes he's not. Let's wait and see. We're there to scrutinise what he says and what he does. If he agrees with what we say and what we ask of him, then that's fine. We'll carry on in that vein.
So, normal service is likely to resume at some point. Simon Harris, ITV News, City Hall.